Hello and welcome to Plate Stack Chat. I am your host, Jason, and this show, as always, is supported by our good friends Strivey. So head over to strivey.app if you want a nice, smooth interface for your programming. So on the show today, we're going to be talking about BattleDrome. And while the main headline is that they didn't pay out any of the athletes, well, it seems like a lot of other strange stuff went on at this event. So I am very pleased to have some guests on that were on the floor at BattleDrome, both of them landing on the podium. We have joining us from the Czech Republic, a man that stood on the podium and yet his wallet is empty. It is Áron Lisý.
Hi.
Áron, welcome. And then joining us, we have a man who isn't in the thumbnail because I wasn't 100% sure his schedule would allow him to be here, but he's very kindly joining us. He was the winner of BattleDrome. It is Jan Finkenberg.
Hi, guys.
I am. That was correct, right? You came first. I'm not wrong on that.
Yeah, that's right.
It's really hard to tell because, the podium picture that I would expect to find on their Instagram page where it shows, this wonderful event. It's nowhere to be seen. So,
yeah, there was basically no prize ceremony and no podium to stand on.
So, guys, well, first I've got to ask, because obviously you're both not Italian. So that's a first interesting thing to note, I would say. Was it your first year at BattleDrome for each of you?
Yeah, I was there actually for second year.
Right.
The year before, two Italian guys came to Czech Republic to compete, Enrico Zenoni and Emanuele Biviano.
Right.
I competed against them and I started following them, and I always wanted to go to Italian competitions, and this one, I saw they were on the first year, so I went to the second year. It was like 2023, and then I went again 24.
Yeah, I think did Enrico Zanoni win that year, right?
Yes, the year before 23.
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
For me, it was my first year.
So, I guess what took you there? At least for you, yeah.
For me, it was definitely the money. So,
oh no, don't say that.
I was late to realize that there was such a big prize purse, and I think they actually they prolonged the qualifier period because there weren't that many good people signed up, and I saw it. I looked at the rankings of the qualifier, and I saw, I think I can win it, and with 20K cash prize purse advertised, I was like, yeah, that's going to be some nice money. And I haven't been to Milan before, so I thought it was going to be a nice vacation, get some money, and yeah.
So again, because you're both not in Italy, like travel wise, sort of expense wise, to get you to Milan, like, did you have to lay out a fair bit of cash to get across? I don't know how. I'm trying to think how easy it is. It's probably much easier to get there from Germany, I would have thought.
From Germany it was pretty easy. I think flight and accommodation, food was around like maybe 500 to 800 euros, but I was there for a few days prior and a few days later just to see the city and enjoy the food. So yeah, I made it like a mini vacation, but also with the focus to perform well.
Yeah. So the vacation came after, right? First go win the prize money.
Yes.
Now you've got the prize money, you can go and treat yourself.
Exactly.
During that time, was that in the back of your mind? Like, oh, well, I've won, so I've got some money coming.
Yeah.
So
always.
I might as well enjoy my time in Italy, right?
For me, it's always the same. When I win a big cash prize, I always invite my girlfriend to dinner every evening. So all the food goes on me. We did that, but the money never came.
You see, this is what people don't realize about like the real life consequences that happen when events don't pay out.
But it's fine. Like I like to pay for my girlfriend, but it's not nice. The money didn't come.
No, that's true. What about for you, Áron? Like getting across from the Czech Republic?
Yeah, like the main reason I went there for the second time, actually the first time I was there, I really liked the competition, but I was after wrist injury, and the year before was pretty gymnastics heavy, so I missed the finals. There was like the last event. That's why they call it drome. They have like octagon, and everybody race to the center, and I missed it by one spot. I was ninth. So I was like, dang, like next year I want to go there, and like if I know I can like at least get there or stand on the podium. So I was healthy, I was doing great, and I saw the like prize purse. So I was like, yeah, let's do it again. And
So,
the rest is history.
like in 2023, was it a smooth running competition?
Yeah, actually the competition was, yeah, it was pretty smooth. The judging was great. They were like I'm not sure which organization, but head judge was a guy who does judging on CrossFit Games, and it was pretty good like experience. There was a friend of mine was there who didn't qualify. He just went there with his girlfriend, and one lady who was helping with the organization. She spoke English, one of few, and she helped us. He could compete. It was pretty like good experience the year before.
Okay. So at what point this year did you maybe notice something's different?
Yeah, actually, I this year. When I was like signing up and doing the qualification, I think there was some delay with the results of the qualification. I was like writing them messages, they didn't respond back, and
Right.
then I remembered. Yeah, that's true. It was the year before. The communication before the event was terrible as well. But actually, during the event, everything was great. So I forgot about the like no like the bad communication before.
Right.
So I remember that before the event. So, but I hope the event will be like smooth again.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but this year was actually, I think it was well run too, right? So shout out to the head judge guy. I forgot his name, but he really like the judging team was very well organized.
Yeah,
They all had like reasonably well communication in English, like not always like perfect, but still for an international competition pretty good and very good standards. I think it was run very well, and it was for me just at the end, like right before the prize ceremony, that I thought, oh, why is there no like podium to stand on? Why is there no like signs with the cash prizes, etc.?
So how involved in like running? So I mean, you're saying it's smooth running, which is great. So I mean, I've sent an email. I've had no reply, but this guy Daniele, who's organized everything, like how involved was he in the kind of running of the actual competition itself? Like, was he very hands-on, or was it they'd brought in a team of people that were good at running an event, and so that's
He
why you
was there. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
there. He was on crutches because he had some kind of car accident, I think. But when I came in, like for the registration, he greeted me. He said, "Oh, yeah, I'm a little bit in a health crisis because of this accident." But he was there. He was overseeing everything. Yeah, and right then I thought it's all well.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, he was definitely a part of it, but there were like other people who were taking care of different things.
Yeah. Okay. So after I put out the video talking about you guys not getting paid, I would get a lot of like people messaging me over Instagram. A few things. Oh, one thing I have to mention straight away because I promised Daria I would mention this. All the photos from the photographers were given to the event, so theoretically they have all the photos because a lot of people are complaining that they didn't get pictures, and some of them are messaging directly the photographers to sort of say, hey, where are the pictures? We've got no pictures. So she messaged me to say, oh, next time you speak about this, can you please let them know that we gave in all the pictures. So the event has them. I don't know what they're doing with them, but they're, because they haven't made them available for the people. But they're all car accident. Yeah. Is that why he was in hospital?
Yeah, I think so.
With there was that communication kind of thing. Okay.
I'm not sure. I didn't talk to him, but he was there was definitely like what he was saying after the event. Like he's in a hospital. He has some he can't respond now and stuff like that.
Because it feels like some of the stuff then is quite legitimate. Like if you're saying you see him there, it's weird, right? Like if you don't get the prize money and then suddenly he's in hospital. Oh no, like that's weird.
Yeah.
But if you're saying like I saw him there on crutches,
you can open your laptop and you can like make a bank transfer from the hospital. I don't see any problem with that.
That's true. You should have visited him in hospital. Yeah, that's what you should have done.
It is like plausible, but actually, like Jan said, everything was going pretty great. But the last day it was raining, so there were some events that had to be like a little bit rescheduled, and we were waiting a little bit. But that's like normal thing when you doing like outside event and the weather's not good. But like during the ceremony, I remember that I like knew that something something is off, and probably that the prize money will be lucky if we get it, because like Jan said, there was like just one plate, 25 plate that Jan stood on, and we were standing on the grass next to them. I was like the sponsors were like going, and like nobody got any prizes, even like the year before. Everybody was getting like cash prizes, like even the experience and advanced categories, but this year none. And they told just the elite women, men, and masters 35 to 40 that we will get something. We were asking like, okay, they said like within 60 days because of some like legal paperwork or legal reasons in Italy. And we asked like, okay, how much? And they said, oh, we don't know, we'll see. And then my friend finished second in intermediate, and so I was asking, she didn't get any any prizes, any cash, but any prizes. And they said, like, of course they will, we will give it to you. But we said like, but we're leaving tomorrow, and like, no, we will send it to you. And they didn't ask for address. They will just we'll send it to you. Like everything was like a little bit fishy at that point.
Right. Luca is asking a question. He says, are you guys sure he's actually been in the hospital? I don't know.
He was on crutches, well, so I don't know. Could be not.
Yeah. I mean, if he was on crutches, maybe he was in the hospital before. Like he's already got the crutches. Yeah. Maybe they're his own crutches. He just brings them with him just as he's laying the foundations of this excuse. Okay. Like that's weird though, right? That they don't know how much you'd get individually.
Yeah, well, I had to ask like 3 or 4 times until I got set an amount. So I had to ask him over and over and over again until he said, you're getting 3,000 euros. So he presented me with a number. Okay. But I had to go to him 3 or 4 times and ask him, but I need to know, I want to plan with it. And he said, then finally, it's going to be 3,000 euros. And I was hopeful that they will pay, because the year before they got paid, and they got paid in December. So we talked to the girl. I think her name is Silvia. She's an Italian girl too. And she said, I won last year too. She won in 2024 and in 2023. And she got paid in December. So it was like a little bit more than 60 working days after the competition. So I was very hopeful until like January of this year that we will get the money eventually.
Yeah. Have they actually come out and said like, you're not getting it? Have they kind of admitted to that, or it's still just sort of radio silence?
Yeah, like in the message I've sent to you, they said, well, our sponsor didn't pay us, so we can't pay you. So that's kind of saying you're not getting the money, but not that I'm not entitled to get the money.
Yeah. Which I mean, I don't know. I don't run an event. I speak to a lot of people that do run events, so, but it would seem strange that you would put like, it's like, okay, all the prize money is from one sponsor. Because if that was the case, you'd be like that sponsor would be demanding that that's advertised, right? They'd want people to know that, you know, we're providing the prize purse. So, okay, that
So I
sponsor
think
hasn't paid, but surely other people have paid. But there must be money somewhere. Like it's come in.
yeah, I think Kappa was the main sponsor, and
Yeah.
it's like a major brand. So
Mhm.
I thought they might pay. And also, when Daniele still had his Instagram profile, he had like linked Kappa as a brand in his biography. So I actually messaged Kappa too, and told that the event that they were the title sponsor of didn't pay me, but I got no response from them as well.
Right.
Yeah,
And I guess
I think like at that point it was more. I felt like it was more like excuses
Yeah.
after that. Actually, even when we came, like the first day, it already felt like they were a little bit like not full of like energy. The organizers, everything was like they were late with building the stadium, and everyone was like a little bit down, and even the weather forecast was pretty rough, and even the participations, the competitors, and spectators as well was a little bit lower than the year before. Not like totally bad, but I think they were expecting to get more people than the year before, and honestly I think that was the problem.
was it the same location or a different location?
Yes.
Okay.
First year it was somewhere else, but the year before and this one it was both in the like the drome, or what is like the cyclist stadium, and
Okay.
there was like football field in the middle, and it was like pretty cool location, but it had to be like big chunk of money going to that as well, I guess.
Yeah, I think that was kind of where I was going with that. Is so like European champs is one that kind of is, you know, famous for having done a similar thing, you know, not paying out the podium athletes. The year that they didn't pay was because they'd taken on this massive venue. They tried to completely kind of, you know, go big or go home, and they didn't get spectators. They didn't bring in the money they thought they were going to bring in, and therefore, you know, and there were a number of other reasons, but a big part was that they owed so much money to kind of renting this massive venue. But BattleDrome would already have known the overhead. Like it's the same location as last year. The expenses are going to be, you know, maybe a little bit more just due to inflation, but they kind of should have known that. And the year before, they were able to offer 15,000 euros. So
Yeah.
they've upped the prize money. You'd sort of think they'd have that all, you know, all the spreadsheets should be balancing at this point. You know exactly what you're going in for. And like if, you know, if a sponsor's not, I mean, I don't know how much the sponsors are paying. I saw as well, like on the website, you know, Kappa as well as others that were quite, you know, well-known sponsors, ones you'd expect would fulfill. I mean, if I ran an event and I had, you know, just to be 100% clear, I'm not saying Kappa didn't pay. You know, I'm assuming they've, you know, I'm going to go on the assumption that they've lived up to whatever they've said. If hypothetically a brand like Kappa or any, you know, big clothing brand, Adidas, Reebok, whoever you want, if they didn't fulfill what they owed me as a sponsor, I would be talking about that.
Yes.
Like, surely I'd be letting people know. Like, that's huge news, right? That's,
Yeah.
I mean, I'd definitely be talking about that, but that's that's what I do. But it's just a bit weird that it's kind of like, oh, you know, the sponsor hasn't
Yeah.
paid, so we're not paying. And then there's all this stuff that's sort of, it seems like certain stuff has been set in motion to kind of obscure and hide what's going on, which is the other kind of red flag, right? So, we could feel sorry for you if you're like, look, we really tried, we put on a great event, we hope you had fun. This is the problem. Sorry, guys, we don't have the money. But it's all the kind of, it's been bought by someone else. There's a new event. There's, other stuff going on. I mean, how much have you looked into any of that individually?
Yeah, like this is the main issue with me. Like, it's like you said, the European Championships. They had like bigger expenses than gains, basically, and like if they like miscalculate it, they like make some mistakes. I feel like if they come out and just tell the truth, it's like the most honest thing you can do at that point, or like that's what you should do, basically. But everything after that, like from the award ceremony, felt like they were like doing some like magic and like, look here, this is 60 days, 60 working days, then 60 to 90, and the hospital sponsor didn't pay, we sold the company.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. Like that's bad standard to set.
Yeah, I think that's why Luca was saying he's just questioning him now over everything, because you're right. It's like misdirection. You don't know. Like there must be some truth to all of it. I mean, otherwise, someone is sitting there with a bag of money. Like that's the other option, right? It's just somebody sat at home and said, you know what, I could give 20,000 euros to these athletes, or I can keep it. So that's the other option. We would hope that's not the case, right? So something's happened. Just tell us what's happened.
If that was the case, I think he would disappear right away after the event. But like he was like, yeah, we'll pay it like a little bit later, and then like when we really start pushing it, because like you said, if the sponsor doesn't pay, you can go public with it. Like we didn't go public with it for quite a long time, but because like we were still giving them chance, they were like, yeah, we'll pay a little bit later. But when we come public with it, like that's when the posts started to like disappear, when his profile disappeared, when there were like messages that the company has been sold and stuff like that, like the disappearance.
I think they should have been able to pay the price with the amount of money they made from the qualifier. So I just looked it up. The qualifier was like 70 euros, which is very, very expensive for a qualifier. I mean, that's like, I don't know, 10% is maybe competition corner fee or something. And then the main event was actually quite cheap for a competition. I think it was like 100 euros, 106 euros. But I mean, there was like massive participation. There were different masters categories. I don't know if there were teams, and I mean, we had a big starting field, so I don't see why they shouldn't be able to pay us with basically the money from everybody in the qualifier.
Yeah. I think that goes back to, the point earlier of like saying it's a sponsor that didn't pay us. It seems crazy that's it's all reliant on that one thing, because I don't believe that there was a sponsor that said, I'm going to give you 20,000 euro for prize money. Like you're right. Everyone that signed up to qualify, everyone, because also you see how many people were there in person, and if not everyone qualified, that means there were also a lot of people that will have paid their 70 euro, and like there's no overhead for that, right? Apart from making a couple of videos and workouts and things like that. That's all just money in the bank for free, basically, right? That's what I
so another thing that I think they spend a lot of money on is like the media. They always had like a lot of media around the competition, even during the year. I think the Daniel, the the link tree leads to still like the BattleDrome page to like his program, the next battle or something like that it's called. And they were still like during the year they were doing some like promotion videos for that. And so I think also that's possibility they spent like too much on that, and like didn't have enough for for the prize money.
Yeah, we also have to say that I think one Italian guy got paid, but like a very minor amount. So they had like a mutual friend, him and Daniele, and I don't know if he's a Masters athlete, but he got paid like a little bit.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask you if you knew of anyone, because again, when like European champs didn't pay, there was a lot of speculation that someone got paid. It was like, oh no, nobody got paid, but we all think this person got paid, who I was told definitely didn't get paid. I was very sternly told did not get paid. But one athlete did reach out to me about this and said that, yeah, they got paid something, like not much. I think they compared it to like what they maybe got half of what the person that finished in the same place as them the previous year got. And considering that the prize purse was bigger, you know, they would have expected to get more than the person got the previous year.
I think it was like 2% of the whole prize purse was paid, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
When I did the math.
You did,
so still a long way to go.
Yes, but I feel like that then raises even more questions, right? So it's like, okay, you know, especially if you haven't. So Jan had been told $3,000. Like, that was brave of them to tell him that if they weren't going to pay. But like, Áron, you didn't know how much you were going to get paid. So even if they came to this point and said, yeah, look, you know, a sponsor didn't come through, we don't have much for you, but you know, here's €200, we're so sorry. Like, it's something. You know, it's not what you're expecting, but it's something. But then to give something to someone, nothing to other people, it just feels.
Yeah, I actually, like, if they came to me with that, or even like even if they come to me and say we will pay you full amount, I don't really like care if they make one person to make him happy for like any reason, but like they promised everybody to like pay. And actually they didn't like the year before they said like each place in each category they put out like table or something like that, some graphic like how much everybody's gonna make. So like judging by that standard, I was expecting actually like my friend in advanced category and like other people to get paid. And I think like everybody was expecting that, even though they didn't share any of that. So like at this point, I don't care that much about like the money I was supposed to make, but I really care about like competitors. Like even in the future, I think they shouldn't have to worry about like, is the event gonna pay me? They should worry about like making it healthy to the competition, performing well, like doing the right decisions like on the field, winning the event, or like placing on the podium. And they shouldn't like, that shouldn't be like problem they should they have to like deal with. So
yes.
That's also why like I reached out to you with this story. Is like, I think there is something like good that can come out from this. Like even if we don't get paid, I think we can at least like open some discussion for the future, and something can happen, and maybe some like templates or some like ideas can come out, like how to prevent this from happening in the future.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and the Daniele guy, I mean, he single-handedly put every competition in Italy like in a bad lighting, because I know a lot of people who went to Italy and had like great competitions. I've heard like very good things about the UBL Italian Championship. I've heard good things about the Fall Series. I know Coach Theo, and he does a really professional job. And I think like this Daniele guy, he like made this such a bad reputation for a lot of competitions, especially like now in Italy. So athletes have to wonder if they get paid, and that's like a really, really bad thing. And this Daniele guy, he's like the most shady guy I've ever met. And if you promise to pay athletes money and they come to your competition to get the money and to compete at a high level, then you have to fulfill your promise. I think there's no like two opinions about that.
Yeah. Well, especially like, I mean, in general, like the CrossFit ecosystem, it's relatively small. Like when you look at, you know, globally, just the population of the world, right? So you've got to do everything you can to foster it as being like, if you start dismissing entire nations, entire places, and I think especially, you know, like Aaron, you were saying, it was like it's a destination for you. Like, oh, I'd like to go to Italy. I'd like to try and do an event in Italy. Okay, which one am I going to pick? A lot goes into that. So now, if I'm thinking, well, look, I can afford to do kind of maybe one or two, you know, holidays somewhere that I can time with an event. Where am I going to go? Oh, I'm probably not going to go to Italy now because of what happened at that event. Maybe I'll go to Germany. Maybe I'll go to, you know, to France, or I'll go wherever, you know, I'm thinking to go. It's interesting because who was it? You mentioned, what was it? UBL? Yeah. So
Yeah.
UBL reached out to me and they were like, please come to our event and see that, you know, they're not all like that. Like there's some good ones. It happens to be the same weekend I'm in Luxembourg for another event. So unfortunately I can't go, but
Yeah, but
it's
I heard
interesting
good
that,
things about the UBL too.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it's interesting, right? That, so, you know, what you're saying of it, putting it in a bad light, like they're obviously aware of that as well, because they're already, even though their event has a good reputation, as you're saying, they're already thinking, oh, like how, you know, how does this affect us? Like, how does this, and I think especially like, so that event's in Naples, right? So if you live in Italy, you know, like Naples and Milan and like how far apart they are and how different they are, those two parts of Italy. But if you're from, you know, particularly if you're like from America and you're thinking, I want to go to Italy for an event, Italy's Italy. It's like, it's over there, right? They're not looking that deep into it. And so it could be really damaging. I mean, we've been banging the drum about how CrossFit in Europe is booming, and you know it's doing so well here. And then like the Rogue Invitational comes over, and that's amazing because you know they're going to get to experience like what it's like here in Europe with how much people love CrossFit. And then you have these kind of things happening, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
maybe they're still just playing at it.
I think they will like definitely damage reputation of like another competitions, and that's another like bad thing that's that came out from that. But I think like people should like see the competition like not like independently, but judge it by, for example, there are competitions that are happening for like many years. For example, the Fall Series, I think they are running it since like 2012, and see the like, for example, this competition, it was just 3 years, and it was like trying to get like the biggest venue, biggest prize money. And I think these are the signs of competition that might like suffer from this, or there might be something like this happening. Like if there are people like competition running for many years and it's going well, I think if nothing changes, it should be still good. But they will definitely, I think, suffer from that as well, like you said.
I've been distracted by comments. Sorry, but I was listening to what you were saying. But I was also saying,
No problem.
because as Dennis says, guys, the facts are in front of you. Just go to the BattleDrome website. I've gone to the website. the website policy is still under the same owner.
Yeah, I have it screenshot as well.
Yeah. It's not true that the brands have been sold. Yeah. Well, I think that's sort of what we were saying at the start, right? Like it's it's all of that stuff that makes it hard to believe that it's a genuine like error, right? Or the idea of like, oh, the money hasn't come through or something like this. Because if that's the case, you'd just be honest about it. But if you start saying things like, oh no, we've sold the company and someone else owns it now and it's not us, it's it's easy to dispel those those things if you look deep enough, right? Which again, similar thing that was happening with the European champs. They were saying certain stuff, and you could literally, because it was in the UK, we knew exactly where to go to look at like who owns companies and who directs companies, and you can find that information. You can't kind of just pretend. Search the VAT number. Wow.
Yeah, guys, I need to hop off. I need to go to sleep.
Right.
I trained hard, so I need to recover.
Thank you so much for joining us. Where can we find you next competing then?
Oh, I'll be doing the Eurasia Throwdown in Istanbul.
Nice.
That's a good one. And then after that, I compete at the French Throwdown and Bohemian Throwdown. So
Okay.
all in the next 4 weeks, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, all the best with those. I know one person that will be hoping that you win some more prize money is, of course, your girlfriend, because she's looking forward to a really nice meal after that.
I hope so too.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for joining us today.
Good
no
to
problem. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
See you. Bye bye.
Let me just rearrange this a little bit. Boom. There we go, Aaron. Hold on. There's just so many messages. I should just get him on. The headquarters of VAT number is the CrossFit Full Gear Gym. Okay.
Maybe we should invite this guy.
Just look on who
he apparently knows it more than us.
Yeah. Yes. Hold on. All right. Hold on. Let's look up this gym.
Yeah, I saw the header of the company on the website. I screenshotted that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it could be also possible, like if I give them benefit of the doubt, like it's the old info or something like that. But I didn't go that far as to looking up the who owns it now, in the registry and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
I mean that was like a really interesting thing, again, talking about different messages I'm getting, because so on the one side there's BattleDrome as an event not paying out people, and then there's all the other stuff like going on around where people are like, oh well, they were blocking us on this, or we couldn't see that, or these personal connections or personal relationships that people had that were allowing certain things. And you're like, okay, this and that's why I said, oh, I need to do a part 2, because the part 1 was simply, oh, another event that hasn't paid people, that's a shame, what's going on there. And then part 2 is a bit more of the, okay, it's weird because they're saying this and then this is the case and then they've done this and that. And I mean, even, did you pay for the photos?
No. So yeah, at that point I didn't trust them at all.
Yeah. So some people sent me a message saying it was like a subscription that they were paying. So it's like a monthly subscription to have access to the photos that were then being supposed to be uploaded kind of as they were coming in. And and they're saying, okay, it was like €3. It's not, a huge sum of money, but I got nothing for it.
Yeah. Also, what if the photographers send them all the photos? People paid for the photos. What's the reason why not to put them out?
Yeah, and I think congratulations on standing atop the podium. That's wonderful. That's Aaron, you're a very fit individual. I know that. I've seen your Instagram. That's there's no doubt about that. Most people that go to the event are maybe realistic in their expectations, and they think, look, I've scraped through the qualifiers. I've seen Jan's going to be there. He's an animal. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be on the podium. And I think a lot of people go to the event for the experience, for the, to test their fitness in a competitive environment, to see what holes they've got that they need to work on over the next year. They don't expect to come away with prize money. They do expect to at least have a picture they can put on their Instagram profile, right? Like, that's, I'm going there to get my new. And I think for ages we've said about events, like how important it is that you've got photographers, that you're getting pictures of everyone. Like, that's what, because that's then what people will share.
Yeah,
Right?
and
You get
that's
like an amazing picture, you're going to share that, and you'll tag BattleDrome in it, and
also that's how you remember it. Like,
yeah.
like after like 5-6 years, sometimes like you go through the photos and like you like save these memories by like going through the photos.
Yeah, exactly. So I just, and that's why I was kind of like, I need to know about the event itself, because I think there's one thing to be like, something's happened to the money, right? It's gone for whatever reason, but every other step has been smooth sailing, perfect. They've really tried. Like, it's such a good experience. I mean, you were saying about the podium, there being no podium. Like, if I knew, oh, I don't have any money for you, I would make that podium experience like the best thing you've ever, like, you are a hero. You are better than everyone else. You are, the elite of the elite at this sport, and we are going to celebrate you. And then when I say, look, I'm so sorry, I don't have any cash to give you, but at least you're like, yeah, it's okay. We got our moment in front of a crowd. We got our moment standing on the podium. I've got a great picture of that. Like, it's wonderful. So it's just weird that kind of all of these steps that are like, well, that doesn't even cost you anything. Or as you said, like, they've got the pictures. That doesn't cost you anything. You've already got them. You've paid the photographers. I hope. That would be another thing to okay. Someone wanted to send me some messages, some information, but then they're saying, they think it's already come up in the comments. So yeah,
that's like what I wanted to say would like it would, if somebody who like was part of the organization and have some like information, I feel like there has been some like, even between the sponsors and the organizers, if they didn't pay or like the photographers send it, there has been some things happening. It would be interesting, like if somebody reached out to you and like, okay, here's what happened.
I mean, I appreciate you putting out the call. That's what I need.
But
actually,
because there are definitely some like puzzle pieces missing. Like, we like see like the like frame of the picture, but there are definitely some pieces missing.
So I would be intrigued to know if volunteers got anything, if they were promised anything, and if they got it, because I know, and I hate to keep referencing it, but it's one of the ones that I dug deep on was European Championships a few years ago when they didn't pay out. And I know that, volunteers didn't get paid, media didn't get paid, the MCs didn't get paid. It wasn't just the athletes on the podium that didn't get their money. There were a lot of other people. Even one of the people I know that was very heavily involved in all the, in the lead up, organizing a lot of things, running a lot of stuff, that was owed a decent chunk of money, never saw that as well. So I would be interested to know, if you worked at the event, what was offered. Did you receive it? I mean, like, a European Championships, it was even things like they were promised like lunch, right? You working at an event, you usually get promised lunch. They got given these like microwavable meals, but they were working outside for like the run swim event. So there's no microwave outside. So it's that kind of thing where I'm like, yeah, you can sort of already see the holes that are going here. So I would be interested to know that. I'm also interested because Jan mentioned someone been paid. Now, he was saying, to me, it sounded like he was talking about a male athlete that was in
Yeah,
like in the intermediate?
we have a group chat like after the event. Like I reached out to people from the women and men elite and masters divisions, like the podium finishers, and like who won it. I created a WhatsApp group chat. So I think there was a girl,
Yes.
and a few of those guys, like I don't know if they knew each other or like with Danielle, or they had some connections. So I think even she was saying like she feels like that's just keep the like to keep some reputation, because she knows people that know him, and yeah, some
Okay.
like lowest hanging fruit probably of recovering some reputation.
Right. So I know about her because she messaged me to say
Yeah.
that she and told me that. So I was wondering if Jan is talking about someone else, or if
Yeah,
he's just
I think
there's a couple then.
I think he meant her.
Oh, he meant her. Okay. Wow. See, because then at that point I was like going, oh, interesting. Is it that maybe this has happened for a couple of people, and the thing you need is to have this friend in common, and if you've got this mutual contact, that's how you get the money. Which again
Yeah,
is like
but she like also got like
nothing. Yeah. Oh,
yeah, like quarter of what she was promised, or
Yeah.
maybe even less. Yeah.
Oh no, absolutely. Like, and definitely, I'm not like, you know, and what amazed me was that she told me, you know,
Yeah.
no one else had mentioned, because as I said, like in the past, very quickly people are like pointing fingers. Oh, but I'm pretty sure someone got paid, or you know, even with like the MCs, it was like, oh, the MCs didn't get paid, and then I was quickly being told, oh, well, actually, this one did get paid, because like
Yeah,
they, you
the
know, so
rumor started.
they're really quick to. No one had mentioned to me that she'd got anything. So she reached out to me to say, I got money and this is what I got and this is why,
Right.
which I thought was very commendable, because I was like, well,
Yeah.
that could have like I never would have known that. No one had told me that.
Yeah.
But man, it's anyway. So are you going to any more events in Italy, Aaron, or is...
Yeah, I was the year before I was on fall series.
Yeah.
And actually I like also heard like great things about UBL, but I was pretty sick when the qualification was happening, so I didn't even like I managed to do it but didn't get there.
Yeah.
So
that's a shame. Because I would take this moment, and I think we can keep beating this dead horse, but I think you're right. There are some puzzle pieces we need to find.
yeah.
If someone can help us in like, just if you know anything about stuff that's gone on behind the scenes that we don't know, if you know maybe what sponsors are. I have also, I also reached out to CrossFit, as it's a licensed event, not expecting much, but just like, do you have any policy in place for when an event that's got your name on it doesn't pay, because it reflects badly on you? CrossFit haven't said anything. It might be, I'd be tempted to reach out to some of the sponsors. That was a good idea. That said, whether I'd get anything back is very debatable. But that could be.
I think like the more information we get, like it's better for everybody.
Yes.
Because as you said before, like the other competition, their reputation gets tainted as well. Like the sponsors, they were saying like the sponsors didn't pay out. Like it looks bad for the like even like for example for the judges, they are part of something that like has better like for everybody. And like if more people come out and like say like what happened, I think there will be less space for speculation and for like tainting reputation of somebody who had nothing to do with it.
Yeah. And I think that the sponsor discourse is quite dangerous, because there are, there's only so many sponsors that are probably, backing. And again, particularly when you go to, different countries, there's going to be certain sponsors that are willing to sponsor these events in these countries. So if you start telling people, oh yeah, it's a sponsor that didn't pay, and now there's another event coming up and I see that they have some of the same sponsors, like maybe I think, well, that was a good event, that event has a good reputation, but I've seen this year these are their sponsors, and I know they were the sponsors at this other event, and that event said that the sponsor didn't pay, and that's why I didn't have money. So, it might not be their fault, but potentially, so it's like causes this kind of ripple effect, right? Where you start looking at the other things. So yeah, this is a like to be continued.
Yeah,
I will look into this again, but I think you're right. It's good to like, clear the name almost of other things.
And also what I would say to people, like when you try like have some doubts, I think the signs like of something like this happening is not like particular sponsors or like or like sorry, or like athletes or like location, but it's more like often competitions that try to grow too quickly. I feel like have problems with that. They expect, they try to grow as much as they can. They rent as big venue as they can. They promise as much money as they can. And when something doesn't work out, everything goes down. So definitely something I like could see coming. There was like a question in my head because like I said, there was a little bit less participation that year, and the prize purse was bigger. But that's the decision I made. Like they did like I told myself the like prize purse was pretty big the year before. Like there was like similar amount of competitors. It should be like it should work out. And I really wanted to go to the final that year, and it was scratched because of the weather, so didn't get to do that.
I think as well, like the other thing that people, because like, okay, but maybe you went and you had a wonderful experience at the event and you didn't get any money, but okay, fair enough. But Jan said, like, for him, one of the things was the prize, but like he saw the prize purse and that's why he went there. So like, look, we mentioned UBL, so that's an event that I've just said clashes with another event because I'm going, and so for me, it's a case of I promise these people that I'm going there, so that's why I'm going there. But if I was an athlete and I'm like, oh, there's these two events and they're going on at the same time, and this one's offering 20,000 euro and this one is offering 10, okay, I think I've got a pretty good chance to get on the podium, so I'll go to the one that's paying 20, right? Like that might be the factor. So
it's definitely the factor for people that have chance of winning. Like this that year, like 24, I was looking like every time I signed up for a competition, I knew I have chance to win or at least podium, and I was looking up like the prize purse. That's all. Like that wasn't only factor I was considering, but and
but it
also
is a factor.
Yeah, it is.
And it could be like if you've got two, events that are kind of equally good in your eyes, that might be the deciding factor, especially if you're like, well, if I win that event, I get this much money, and I could get the same amount of money if I come third at this event. And if I come second or first, I'll get even more. But like, that's a better, statistically speaking, that's a better shot for me. So I'll go there. So I think that's why it's so important that like, if an event advertises something, that's why we need to hold them accountable, because it's not just the person that didn't receive the money. It's like, it's all the, it's the other event that didn't get the athletes because they went to try and win that money. It's it's that kind of thing.
The athletes who have chance of winning it, they like take this into consideration, and then like if you bring the like big names, then you, like the reputation or like the prestige of the competition rises. If you have like, for example, last year they had like Enrico Zenoni in the competition, and I think like at least me, I like competed with him, and I that's and also Emmanuel. I saw them. They are going to this competition. It looks good, like and like they are trusting them. So like people sign up, like they want competition, and they like the big names bring then the rest of the people.
I mean, that's another point, isn't it? So like, even if you think, oh, I've got no chance of winning this because these 5 people are going to be there and they are, another level, but I'd love to see how I stack up. to them, so I'm going to go there. So and why are they going there? They're going there because the prize money is pulling them there. So it's like it's all linked, isn't it? So that's interesting. Okay, we'll come back to this discussion at some point. That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Áron, for joining me. Anyone listening or watching this after the fact, if you've got any information you want to send over, please do. We'll be happy to discuss it, and there will definitely be follow-ups to this video. And I think in general, or other events, if you know similar things have happened or are happening, or anything going on, like, just let us know, because the more we talk about it, especially over here in Europe, compared, if it happens in the States, it gets covered pretty thoroughly by all the media out there. But let's not let stuff fall through the cracks over here. But I've got to say, I lived in Italy for 10 years. A lovely place. So you've done full series, you said?
Yeah. My brother lives there, so I go there like a couple times a year.
So obviously one thing we want to stress is, like, Italian events, very good. Let's not dismiss them all, please. That's not the point of this. Anyway, thank you, Áron, for jumping on and talking it through with me. I have more things to add to my notes now. So I'm going on holiday tomorrow, so we'll see if I can get anything out before that or after. And I better just quickly say, I will be back on for a kind of more normal episode. Is it Thursday today, isn't it? Yeah, so I'll be back actually the same time next week. So next Thursday at 8 p.m. in the UK, 9 p.m. if you're over in Europe. Was it CET? What's your time zone?
Central European summertime.
Yeah, there we go. So that will be 9 for you guys. I will be joined by someone that can really claim to be the fittest teen in the world. Last year, she won the teen division of the CrossFit Games, Waterpalooza, and the International Functional Fitness World Championships. So that's Kira McManus. She'll be on the show next week, I think, with her coach/dad as well. So come back for that. Thank you for watching, everyone. And hopefully see some of you next week. Thank you again, Áron.
Okay.